with camera and heart, a filmmaker capturing peace as an art. We must see beyond borders, he urged with grace, recognize our heritage, the common human race. These legends laid a path with courage and might, for peace to grow strong like a beacon of light. Today we stand on their soldiers, proud and tall, ready to answer the youthful call. And here we gather, the Doyens of peace, guardians of hope where calm one sees. With fairy hearts and visions clear, we build a future full of peace and cheer. On this day, the 12th of August bright, we shine together, spreading peace and light. United we roar, united we rise, making peace our anthem, bold and wise. And here we stand, the Zoom our stage, turning today's hope into tomorrow's page. So here's to the dreamers, the doers, the bold, to stories alive and yet to be told. Now, what's this meeting all about, you ask? To experience daring dreams, a bold task. Nearly 200 youths from South Asia's lands shared visions shaped by their own hands. Their challenge was simple, yet grand in scope. My vision for South Asia filled with hope. If they were president or prime minister today, how would they lead? What path would they lay? From Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan to India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, 8 countries united by dreams so bright, sharing ideas that light up the night. 16 top videos, 2 from each land, will be live-casted, vibrant and planned, followed by a panel youth under 30 discussing the visions strong and sturdy. So, welcome all to this moment, this space, where youth from South Asia embrace their place. Let's make history, let's make it right, together we shine, a future so bright. Thank you.
Hello, peace lovers. Very good morning to one and all. I'm Sainath. I'm a chartered accountant and a member of Doyens of Peace. Today, we are here for the first South Asia Commemoration of Doyens of Peace to celebrate the contributions made by Admiral Ramdas, Karamat Ali, and Tapan Bose in South Asia for peaceful activities they have made. As part of this initiative, we have started a My Vision for South Asia campaign in India, in which we have asked the youth around 15 to 25 years from 8 countries of South Asia to send their videos on the theme My Vision for South Asia if I am the president or prime minister of their country. And we are happy to say that we have received around 198 entries. And our core objectives are working on empowering youth through development and peace building activities across South Asia and honoring visionaries and doyens of South Asia to inspire youth. The main focus is on facilitating dialogue across South Asia and all issues between youth groups, civil society organizations, and professional bodies. With this, I would like to hand over the session to our session moderator, Mohiba Ahmad. Thank you for your time. Looking forward for a great session. Thank you.
Good morning, all. I welcome you to this gathering of peace architects. Today, we just don't imagine a harmonious South Asia, we blueprint it. I'll begin today's program by introducing our esteemed panelists from 7 countries of South Asia. First, from Afghanistan, we have with us Saleb Nasiri, who has professional experience in administration, human resources, and support services. He is passionate about working in roles that create value and support community development. We welcome you, Saleb. From Bangladesh, we have with us Bipasha Said, a 27-year-old feminist activist and a theatre performer, currently working at Sangat, a feminist network, as regional coordinator. I welcome you, Bipasha. Next, we have with us from Bhutan, Gawang Dema. Dema is from Bhutan, currently working as a teacher and has been an activist for sexual and reproductive health and rights and gender equality for more than 4 years. Welcome, Dema. From India, we have with us Kabir Rao. He is 19 years old, a student of philosophy at the University of St. Andrews. Welcome, Kabir. From Nepal, we have with us Prasansa Thapa, who holds a master's degree in conflict, peace, and development studies and has over 3 years of research experience. Her work primarily focuses on child labor, labor migration, and the impacts of climate change. Welcome, Prasansa. From Pakistan, you all have me. I am Mohiba Ahmed from Pakistan. I have been a grassroots student organizer and a feminist and climate activist for more than 5 years. I'm currently serving as project manager for a women empowerment project at Southasia Partnership Pakistan, SAP-PK. From Sri Lanka, we have with us Dharshika Sivapragasam, a human rights and legal associate at Human Development Organization Sri Lanka with an LLB degree and over 5 years experience in advocacy, legal support, and community empowerment. Welcome, Dharshika. Due to unavoidable circumstances, the panelist from Maldives unfortunately wasn't able to join us today. But I welcome warmly all of the other panelists who are here with us today. Moving on with the program. We are going to now be showing you the top 2 selected videos from each of the countries, after which the panelists from each country would go ahead with their 1-minute comment on the video. We are going to be doing this in alphabetical order. So I would request first if we could play the top 2 videos that we've gotten from Afghanistan. And after that, we will have our 1-minute intervention from Selab.
In the name of Allah, the Gracious, the Merciful. My name is Esmail Darwish Zada, 24 years old and came from Herat, Afghanistan, a land of mountains, history, and resilience. Growing up in a country affected by decades of conflict, I have witnessed both the struggles and the immense potential of our people. My dream is to see Afghanistan transform from a land known for war into a land known for peace, connection, and opportunity. My vision extends beyond my own borders to the whole of Southasia, a region where our countries are no longer divided by fear or rivalry, but united by cooperation, trade, and shared prosperity. As a young person, what are the biggest problems you see in Afghanistan and Southasia? Our region faces deep and interconnected challenges. Afghanistan struggles with insecurity, political instability, poverty, and the lack of opportunities for youth and women. What has prevented your region from achieving peace and development today? Peace and development have been blocked by decades of war, foreign interference, rivalry, corruption, and brain drain. Without a shared regional vision, each country acts alone, when true strength lies in unity and cooperation. What fundamental changes are needed for a better future? We need honest and inclusive governance, investment in youth education and skills, and regional cooperation through open trade, shared projects, and dialogue. Above all, peace must be seen as a choice built through real actions. If you became president, what would be your top priority? If I were the president of Afghanistan, my top priority would be building a foundation of inclusive peace, reconciling communities, restoring trust, and creating regional dialogue. Without peace, no other progress is possible. With it, growth, education, and justice can truly flourish. What would your 4 years agenda include? In the first 4 years of my presidency, I would focus on 4 pillars: national and regional peacebuilding, launching a comprehensive reconciliation program at home and a South Asia Peace and Friendship Charter with neighbors. Education and youth empowerment, investing in schools, digital literacy, and vocational training to prepare youth for the modern economy. economic connectivity and job creation, transforming Afghanistan into a regional trade hub, opening special economic zones, and connecting farmers and entrepreneurs to new markets. Justice and inclusion, guaranteeing rights for women and minorities, reforming the justice system, and ensuring transparent, accountable governance. How would these programs create lasting peace? Lasting peace comes from opportunity, fairness, and trust. By reducing poverty, ending exclusion, and building jobs, schools, and trade instead of conflict, people gain a future worth protecting and the roots of war begin to disappear. What impact would they have on economic growth and youth employment? Economic connectivity would create thousands of jobs in construction, transportation, energy, and agriculture. By giving young Afghans skills and real opportunities, we reduce migration, prevent radicalization, and turn a frustrated generation into a generation of builders and innovators. What would you do for social justice and marginalized groups? I would ensure that women and minorities are not just protected, but empowered. This includes guaranteeing girls' education, creating pathways for women to lead in business and government, and ensuring that ethnic and religious minorities have a voice in decision-making. A society that includes all of its people is a society that stands strong against division. How can ordinary people and youth participate? Citizens are the heart of every transformation. I would establish local youth councils and community committees to provide direct input on development plans. Through digital platforms and public consultations, young people would not only be heard, but also be part of designing and monitoring programs. When citizens feel ownership of their country's progress, they defend and strengthen it. How can regional collaboration prevent war and extremism? Regional collaboration creates interdependence. Through trade, shared energy, security cooperation, and cultural exchange, countries gain more from peace than conflict. Human connections and economic hope weaken extremism and replace hate with cooperation. Final message to the people of Afghanistan and Southasia. Our past carries war and hardship, but our future can be different. By choosing unity, education, justice, and cooperation, we can write a new story of peace, prosperity, and shared hope. The power to transform Southasia lies in our hands, and the time to act is now.
Hello, my name is Salma Mafaizi, a 23-year-old girl from Afghanistan. I come from a land where the mountains are strong, but the future has long been fragile. A place where talent blooms but is often ignored. Today, I speak not just as an Afghan, but as a daughter of Southasia, a region of beauty, history, and untapped potential. If I were the president of Afghanistan, my plans would not stop at our borders. Because our challenges are shared. And our progress, too, must be shared.
Afghanistan's pain is real. Millions of girls still cannot go to school. Our economy is in ruins. Youth face hopelessness and unemployment. Women are sidelined from leadership and public life. Many still live in fear, under the shadow of insecurity. And basic healthcare is out of reach for too many. But step across any border in Southasia, and you'll see familiar struggles. In Pakistan, rural girls still walk miles to unsafe schools, or never make it at all. In India, millions battle air pollution and economic inequality. In Bangladesh, climate change is swallowing homes near rising seas. In Nepal and Sri Lanka, political instability and youth migration are growing threats. And across South Asia, we all face poverty, extremism, gender injustice, and a climate crisis that does not care about nationality. But here's what I believe, these challenges do not define us. What defines us is how we respond, and what future we choose to build. My 5-year vision for regional transformation. If I had 4 years of leadership, I would launch a regional movement built on 5 key pillars. 1. Education that empowers, free, safe, quality education for every child, especially girls. A regional teaching fellowship to train and share skilled educators. Student exchange programs to build friendships and empathy across borders. 2. Economic growth that includes. 2. Economic growth that includes everyone. A South Asian free trade zone. to remove barriers and create shared prosperity. Support for women and youth entrepreneurs through regional funding and mentorship, promotion of ecotourism, creative industries, and smart agriculture in rural areas. 3. Healthcare that heals and reaches all. Border health clinics to serve marginalized communities. Cross-country telemedicine and medical training platforms. Special focus on maternal care, nutrition, and mental health. 4. Security through cooperation and dialogue. Intelligence sharing to stop extremism and violence. Peace education in every school curriculum. A permanent youth peace assembly of Southasia to keep voices of hope alive. 5. Environmental justice. Joint reforestation and clean water projects, youth-led campaigns to reduce waste and protect biodiversity, investment in regional green energy, solar, wind, hydro, to fight pollution and create jobs. 2 bold initiatives for a better tomorrow. Smart green cities for Southasia, model cities powered by clean energy, built with green transport, safe housing, waste management, tech access, and open green spaces. These cities would attract tourism, generate jobs, and show what our future can look like. Southasia Women Innovators Network, a hub for women to connect, build, and lead across borders, in technology, education, health, and environmental work. Through funding, mentorship, and shared knowledge, women will drive our region's transformation. My final message to you: we do not need more weapons, we need more schools. We do not need more fear, we need more friendship. We do not need more division, we need more unity. We do not need more silence, we need to amplify voices that have been unheard for too long. Southasia is more than geography, it is a shared future, and I am not just ready to lead. I am ready to listen, to learn, and to work with others across the region. The question is not what one leader can do. The question is, what can we do, together? I'm ready. Are you?
Amazing. I think that such inspirational videos coming out of Afghanistan. And Salah, we would love to hear what you think about the 2 videos that were just displayed. Please go ahead.
As you heard about the videos, it's about unity. It's about the women empowerment. It's about economy and no borders, climate change, about education, diplomacy. So ensuring gender equality, about guaranteeing women rights, about access, quality educations, employment, political participation, and leader roles, and about universal access to basic needs, investing in clean water, clean service, health services, education, and creating some, economic opportunities, all the segments of society. Joint climate action, developing renewable energy, disaster preparedness programs, reforestation initiatives, and sustainable water management. It's something like it strengthens regional cooperations, uh, uh, and expanding diplomacy, cultural exchange, and facilitating trades and innovations among the South Asian countries. So inclusive developments are also another side, prioritizing uh, the vulnerable groups and regional and national and regional development plans. So overall, we have just to add the conclusion that peace, unity, no border, political, economic borders, it makes us to make a unite in different South Asia.
Thank you so
Thank
much, Salah. Thank you so much for sharing. Um, we will now move on to our next set of videos from Bangladesh, and then we would love to hear what our panelist from Bangladesh has to say.
I was born in a small village called Borituli in Bangladesh. a place where dreams were often smaller than survival. But in class 3, my teacher asked us to write about our dreams. I wrote, "One day I will be the Prime Minister of our country." The class laughed. Even the teacher smiled politely. Because for a middle class boy in a remote village dreaming that big, it almost felt illegal. But every love, every struggle, they don't break me. They built me. Today I'm not here just to speak. I'm here to execute revolution. For every child who couldn't write the dream on paper. Education, healthcare, youth, the spine of a stronger South Asia. And I'm ready to rebuild it, from the grassroots to the globe. When I look back at the tiny classroom in Borituli, where dreams barely had space to breathe, remember that moment. The moment I wrote, "I want to be the Prime Minister of Bangladesh," on a scrap of lined paper. I didn't know how, but I knew why. I saw how unfair the world was for a child with dream and how powerful one pencil could be. How is it fair that a child's future is decided not by their talent but by their pin code? If I became the Prime Minister, this is where I will start, with education. Because education isn't a sector, it is the root of every revolution. No matters where a child is born, in a char, a hill track, or a city high-rise, their dreams deserve the same wings. I'll launch the National Learning Equity Program, digital classroom in every village, powered by the sun, not by the grid. Solar tablets in national open source curriculum, retired teacher and urban mentors connected with the rural students online. From Teknaf to Kashmir, every child equally empowered. We know teachers are the silent nation builders. Yet in rural corners, they walk miles to reach blackboards, often unpaid and unseen. I will double their salaries, providing monthly training through national edutech hubs. But more than that, restore honor to that chalk barriers, because no nation can rise unless its teachers stand tall. By class 9, every student discover not just a syllabus, but a calling. Be it robotics, AI, green farming, filmmaking, or storytelling. Skill labs in every high school. Industry mentors guiding from screen to field. By 18, they won't just be job ready. They will be the change ready and they will be the future ready. I still remember the boy who died on my lap in Borituli. He didn't need magic. He needed medicine. That day I learned dreams can't survive in broken systems, and life can't wait for promises. We built more than buildings, we built access. Healthcare is not a charity, it's justice, and justice should not depend on your zip code. One healthy child can become a scientist, one healthy mother can raise a nation, and one healthy village can change the map. We will launch Surakha Card, not just a health insurance card, but a promise. A promise that no child will die because their parents couldn't pay. No mother will skip treatment to save her family's food money. Your health should never depend on your wallet. It should depend on your right to live. They called us the late generation. They forgot. We were just unheard. One day they will listen to us. They draw borders on maps, we rewrote them in hearts. We are not the future. We are the present, and we are not waiting anymore. I started as a boy in Borituli dreaming behind cracked walls. Today I stand before you, not as one man, but as a voice of millions. Our strength isn't in walls or armies. It's in the education that empowers, health that heals, the youth that leads. It is the tie we build beyond borders and beyond politics. This is our promise, to build a South Asia where peace is the norm, not the exception, where no child's dream is too big, where our future is written by us together.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters of South Asia, if I ever become the president or prime minister of my country, Bangladesh, my vision would not only be limited within national borders. I will dream for an empowered, peaceful, and prospering South Asia, beginning with change at the root of our struggles, economic reform, and social trust. Let me start with the truth. We, the South Asians, are not suffering only because of bad politics or lack of resources. We are suffering because of a broken mindset born from low income, financial stress, and generational mistrust. In Bangladesh, where I live, the root cause behind depression, anxiety, judgmental behavior, rudeness, greed, and lack of empathy is this long standing financial insecurity. Think about it. Most of our working class is underpaid. A job holder working full time cannot even properly maintain a small family. Forget about comfort. Basic survival has become a challenge. No matter how hard someone works, the wage doesn't match the cost of living. This frustration grows quietly inside people's minds. And what grows inside reflects outside in our manners, our mental health, and our overall social behavior. In developed countries like the US, UK, Canada, and Australia, middle class citizens live comfortable lives. They may not all be rich, but they earn enough to live with dignity, owning homes, cars, and still saving at the end of the month. But in South Asia, especially Bangladesh, our middle class is often just one illness away from poverty. Parents can't sleep at night thinking about rent, food, education, or even a sudden hospital bill. So here's my first bold step as a leader. I will introduce an hourly wage system across sectors. Yes, an hourly wage system. Whether you are a government worker, delivery man, cleaner, office assistant, tutor, or tech worker, your pay should be fair per hour, just like in Western countries. If we calculate this properly, I mean the hourly wage system, it becomes more logical and motivating. When people are paid based on time and productivity, not only does motivation rise, but so does social discipline. The rudeness, jealousy, laziness, these symptoms of struggle will reduce. And let's talk about our students, our future. In developed countries, students start part-time work from a young age. They earn, manage their own expenses, and live independently by 18. But in South Asia, especially Bangladesh, students are overprotected and underestimated. Parents say, don't work, just study. Schools say, don't get distracted. And the result? Zero life experience, no financial confidence, and a society where youth lack trust both themselves and from others. My vision will change this. My vision will change this. I will open doors for part-time work for students. I will create flexible student job programs. I will introduce school-based skill building initiatives. And most importantly, I will run nationwide awareness to make parents trust their children. Because only when the youth earn, manage, and grow can a nation grow with them. My dear fellow citizens of South Asia, we are not poor in talent or energy. We are just mismanaged. My vision is to turn this region into a self-sufficient, happy, productive zone, starting with fair pay, mental health awareness, and youth empowerment. Let us not just survive. Let us live with dignity. Let us not just follow the West. Let us become the example. Let us build a South Asia where working hard means living well. Thank you.
Amazing. Such powerful videos from Bangladesh. Vipasha, what do you have to say about these videos?
Thank you, Mohiba, and greetings to everyone. I must say these are some well articulated vision actually, because the way they have said their vision that really moved me. And the vision, the system for all, free education system from plain to highland, a healthcare system, accessible healthcare system for everyone, youth empowerment where everybody will be more with vocational and technological training, they will be empowered. An economical reform where everybody will be living in a dignitable life. So they are visioning big, and the one person said there should be no limit for our dream, there should be no limit for our vision. So I want to conclude with one thing. There is one line: this is a norm, not exception. That is, I think, summarize the whole thing, because somehow we made that exception very rare for us. And peace for South Asia, I think with these two young men, I believe these are the same demand we have all. So I think this is the summary. These are so beautiful video. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bipasha. Definitely what you've said resonates deeply. We'll now move on to the next set of videos that we have from Bhutan, and then we will go ahead and listen to what our panelists have to say.
Hello, my name is Rabzang Tenzin Kedrup, and I'm a 16-year-old, 11th grade student at Morthathang Higher Secondary School in Thimphu, the capital city of Bhutan. Beyond my studies, I am also honored to serve as a school leader, contributing to my school community. If I were Prime Minister of Bhutan, my vision for the country would center on enhancing gross national happiness, GNH, through sustainable development, technological advancement and cultural preservation, prioritizing education and innovation. My first priority would be to transform our education system to better prepare Bhutanese youth for the future. This means not just academic excellence, but also fostering critical thinking, creativity and digital literacy. I'd invest heavily in STEM education, vocational training and entrepreneurship programs, ensuring our students have the skills to innovate and contribute to a knowledge-based economy. I'd also establish research and development hubs to encourage local innovation and attract global partnerships. Sustainable economic growth. Secondly, I'd focus on diversifying our economy beyond hydropower and tourism. While these are vital, I'd explore new avenues in sustainable agriculture, renewable energy technologies, and high-value niche industries that align with our GNH principles. This would involve supporting small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, promoting made in Bhutan products, and creating a more robust framework for foreign direct investment that aligns with our environmental and social values. My goal would be to create more diverse and stable job opportunities for our citizens, particularly the youth. Strengthening healthcare and social welfare. A healthy population is fundamental to GNH. I would strengthen our healthcare infrastructure, ensuring equitable access to quality medical services, both preventative and curative, for all citizens, including those in remote areas. This would involve investing in modern medical facilities, training more healthcare professionals, and integrating traditional Bhutanese medicine with modern practices. Additionally, I'd expand social welfare programs to provide stronger safety nets for vulnerable populations and ensure no one is left behind in our progress. Preserving culture and environment. Furthermore, and perhaps most importantly, I would reaffirm our commitment to cultural preservation and environmental conservation. Bhutan's unique identity, and pristine natural environment are our greatest treasures. I'd implement stricter policies to protect our rich biodiversity, promote sustainable tourism practices, and integrate traditional values into modern development initiatives. This means finding a harmonious balance between progress and preserving what makes Bhutan, Bhutan.
Hello everyone, I'm Putgam and I'm 19 years old and I'm pursuing Bachelor in Engineering Geology in College of Science and Technology. In this presentation, I would like to share my vision as a Prime Minister of Bhutan. What do I want to change in my country to bring overall impact in South Asia? So from my perspective, I'd like to separate the education system from the government. Now, you must be wondering why education should be independent of government control. This presentation will follow why. First of all, education is a critical pillar of national development. Government control can lead to inefficiency, politicization, and lack of innovation, which will lead to underdevelopment of our education system. So, these are the current challenges in government-run education, whereby it leads to bureaucracy, underfunding, political influence on curriculum, inequality between urban and rural school. As a student of rural school, I know that being in a rural school, we get really less opportunity than the urban school, and I have come to notice that in urban, the development is much higher than in rural area. Thereby, the government-run education has such hurdles. So when I say separation, what does separation means? So I'm not saying that government must disappear, but instead its role shift from direct control to regulation and support. So what do I want to change? I want to make the education sector independent education board and trust, so that we will be able to bring positive impact and decentralized decision making, so that the decision will be able to make faster to bring the changes, and we don't have to wait for the government to approve our decision. So in conclusion, education should be a national priority, not a political instrument. Separating it from direct government control allows it to grow, adapt, and serve society more effectively. So thank you all for listening. Let's all work to achieve the dream of our future generation.
Wonderful. I think that the videos highlight an incredible vision, and we would want to hear more from Dima about what she thinks.
Thank you for having me here. So, talking about the videos, the first video it takes a broader view linking cross-national happiness, education, and other areas that shape peace and well-being. It's a it's powerful because it doesn't treat happiness as just a feeling, but as a system of values and policies. It is important. It points out important ongoing issues like balancing modern development with cultural preservation and the need for youth engagement. The way it connects education values and community harmony shows a strong integrated vision for the future. Looking at the second video of the Bhutan, it focuses on education and it highlights the real challenges in making quality learning accessible for every children, including the gaps in resources and support. This is highly relevant because education is the foundation for equality and sustainable development. The video uses researchers, visuals, and clear storytelling to communicate the problem well, and it offers practical ideas which feel innovative and doable as well. So, both the videos are inspiring and rooted in Bhutan's deep commitment to harmony, respect, and collective growth. The solutions they presented are promising as well, and though they could have been made stronger by adding clearer steps for implementation. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dima. And since you might be leaving us a little bit earlier, I would want to ask you if you could also give us your remarks generally, since you've seen all the videos already about the vision of South Asia that has emerged from these videos and the way forward. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So, across all the videos, there is one common thread, which is the deep concern for peace, education, and the well being of people and communities. Many countries highlighted similar challenges of inequality, lack of access to quality education, environmental pressures, and the need to protect cultural values. At the same time, I saw creative and hopeful solutions, from using local traditions to teach peace to innovative technology in classroom to community led projects that give people a real voice. The potential for cooperation is very strong because this challenges across borders and many ideas could be adapted and shared between the countries. Some of the most inspiring proposals combine wisdom with modern tools, making them both practical and culturally rich. Uh, the collective vision that shines through is one of the world where peace is built not only through agreements but through everyday actions in schools, families, and communities. A vision that feels both ambitious and achievable if we work together. It's a big dream, but it feels possible if we all work together. That's all. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Dima. It was lovely hearing from you. And now our next set of videos is from India. But before we screen our videos from India, I would like to ask Kabir if they could please introduce to us our Dion of Peace from India, Admiral Ramdas Sahab.
Sure, Mohibba. Admiral Ramdas retired as India's 13th Navy Chief in 1993 after 45 years in uniform. Many experiences in his personal and professional life had convinced him of the futility of war and finding solutions. He spent his post-retirement years exploring non-militaristic methods and peaceful pathways to harmony, both within India and between India and Pakistan. He believed deeply that peace between the two nuclear-powered neighbors was the only way to promote the well-being of our people in South Asia. He therefore interacted with policymakers at the highest level, but also with many initiatives advocating people-to-people dialogue and arguing, very importantly, for a nuclear-free world. For Admiral Ramdas, it was critical to engage with young people who had the largest stake in a future that was grounded firmly on principles of justice, equity, freedom, and fraternity.
Thank you so much, Kabir. We all the youth that is present here admires to this vision that Admiral Ramdas Saab has put forward. Now we will be playing the videos that we've received from India, and then we would like to hear Kabir's thought on those videos.
South Asia is a living civilization, and its youth are not heirs of division but the architect of a shared renaissance. Namaste everyone, I am Aisha Ahmed Khadri, a 17-year-old student from Hyderabad, India, elated and very keen on sharing my vision for South Asia as the Prime Minister of my country, my homeland, India. My vision is clear: borderless brotherhood of youth, bound not by territory but by talent, trust and togetherness. The youth, which comprises 60% of the total population of South Asia, is a sacred flame of a timeless civilization, which was born to carry forward the wisdom, unity, peace and innovation. I envision that we build a South Asia, a unified South Asia, where an ambitious and talented kid from Delhi starts a startup and codes with his curious friend in Karachi. A climate activist from Kathmandu plants a tree in Dhaka, and a student from Colombo writes poetry that impresses a literature enthusiast, inspires a literature enthusiast in Thimphu or Afghanistan. Let the diplomacy not be remain confined to official corridors. Let it be driven by student exchanges, startup incubators, and regional youth parliaments. Let's start a pan-South Asia connectivity grid: rail, roadways, digital network, and energy. Climate, global warming, and green growth are vital and alarming topics that need to be taken into consideration. Shared monsoons and shared rivers need shared management. Joint river action, preservation of the Himalayan ecosystem, and clean, green energy production should be monitored. As mentioned earlier, the youth comprises of 60% of the population of South Asia. Investing in them creates a future free of poverty and conflict. Student exchanges, scholarships, MUN debates, and cultural immersion programs should be promoted. South Asia remains to be one of the least integrated regions of all times. A unified South Asia could be a global force. Let us build a stronger SAARC 2.0 with more economical integration, shared infrastructure, student exchanges, and climate resilience. This can only be done with more empathy, more diplomacy. My country, India, with its size, resources, tech, and democratic values can lead not by domination, but by inspiration and integration. The role of India should be like a big brother. India is rich in spirit, legacy, and youth. We can offer scholarships, NEP-based education hubs for regional students, and set up world-class IIT-like campuses in neighboring countries. Also, India's digital tech startup is world-class and it can lift millions out of poverty. We can export tech stacks like UPI and Aadhaar model to neighboring countries for them to leapfrog. Connectivity is prosperity. By linking Indian ports with Maldives, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka, we can bring more people-to-people contact, more tourism and travel, which ultimately leads to stability and connection. Any vision is incomplete without equity. Let us make sure that the Dalit student in rural India, that the Rohingya refugee of Bangladesh, and the child war survivor of Afghanistan all receive equal opportunities. This can be done by actively advocating and having rural programs based on minority rights, gender rights, and mental health all across South Asia. I would like to conclude with strong and profound hope that with diplomacy in their heart and peace in their hands, the youth will lead South Asia into its golden era. This is a call for action, for I wholeheartedly believe in my vision. And in the hands of South Asia lies the seeds of unity, compassion, peace, humility, and growth, ready to blossom beyond borders and history. We are not the generation that will inherit the hatred of history. Instead, we will compost it, plant new dreams in its ashes, and grow a garden of nations free of fences. Wishing you all a very happy International Youth Day. Thank you so much. This is Aisha Ahmed Qadri signing off.
If I were the Prime Minister of my country, my very first message wouldn't be to the world's superpowers. It would be to my neighbors. To the girl building robots in Dhaka, to the boy planting trees in Colombo, to the teacher starting a school in Kabul. Because before we change the world, shouldn't we know each other? We share borders, yes, but we also share history, rhythm, and heritage. We sing the same melody. We pray in different ways, but often for the same things. Do we really need permission to unite when the youth are already ready to listen? I would launch Project Samvad, a cross-border youth exchange for students from every SAARC nation, not just to learn about one another, but to live alongside one another, to speak, to cook, to argue, to forgive. Because true peace doesn't come from treaties, it comes from trust. We call South Asia ancient, but must its problems be ancient too? Drought in one country, floods in another. Should a country decide whether a child gets clean drinking water or not? With the Green Spark initiative, I would unite young environmentalists, coders, and farmers to co-create local solutions. Shared solar grids, forest recovery zones, youth climate labs in every South capital. Because a region that once gave the world Ayurveda, Nalanda, and Zero can also give it a blueprint for surviving the climate crisis. We always say youth are the future. But what if the future needs us right now? Through SAYA, the South Asia Youth Assembly, I would give voice and vote to the region's young minds. Every year, we would bring together students, activists, engineers, farmers to debate real policy. Why can't a student from Kerala suggest a tourism plan for Maldives? Why can't a coder from Thimphu draft a tech policy with peers from Islamabad? It's not about the age, it's about the insight and intention. In my first 100 days, I would host the first South Asia Youth Summit in a village like Bandipur and not a capital. Launch the SAR Skills app, connecting youth to learning across languages. Initiate a peace curriculum co-authored by students from all 8 countries. Because leadership isn't about making promises, it's about making people feel seen. We are not afraid of borders, we are afraid of silence. But not anymore. Because दिल से दिल मिले तो देश भी मिल जाते हैं. We are ready to lead. Not tomorrow, not someday, but today. अब बारी हमारी है.
Wonderful. Some really hopeful messages that were outlined in these videos. Kabir, we would want to hear more from you. What do you think about them?
Sure, Moiba. Thank you. I think that the presentations from India are really hopeful reminders that we require creativity and courage at our highest offices of power, which are 2 qualities I think we lack today over there. The foundations of these presentations in the primacy of equality and their emphasis on regional cooperation informs the consensus that we're exploring today on a state of peaceful coexistence as necessary in our region. I think that we are presently facing a crisis was duly acknowledged, as was the importance of investing in internal and shared programs to navigate it. And I also believe that precisely because it must be achieved, the ambition of such a vision requires rigorous development and internal critique. And so I therefore propose militarism, nuclear armament, and nationalism as important matters for us to consider in the future, as an extension to these very hopeful visions for our future.
Thank you so much, Kabir. These are all important messages. And the next set of videos that we have are from Nepal, and then we would love to hear more from Prasansa about them.
Namaste.
Hello everyone, my name is Vijata Pandey. I am 17 years old science student who's currently studying in grade 11 in New Horizon English Boarding School in Nepal. It is a great honor for me to speak here today, not only as a student but as a young citizen who dreams of a better future for my country and the entire South Asia region. Today, I'm going to share my thoughts on if I were the Prime Minister of Nepal, what would be my vision for South Asia. But before talking about reshaping South Asia, I believe the real change must begin within my own country, Nepal. Nepal is a land of great natural beauty and cultural richness. It is the land of Mount Everest and birthplace of Lord Gautam Buddha, symbolizing both natural strength and spiritual peace. However, despite our pride and heritage, we face serious challenges: limited access to quality education and healthcare, rising unemployment and poverty. Nearly 30% of Nepalese live below the poverty line, and thousands of youths leave the country every year in search of better education and opportunities abroad. Political instability, unemployment, and crimes continue to hinder our progress. If I were given the opportunity to serve as a Prime Minister of Nepal, I would work to transform the challenges into opportunities. My first step would be to make education one of the strongest pillars of our nation. I would ensure that hospitals, especially in rural areas, are well equipped and updated with modern technology so that no Nepali has to travel miles just for basic treatment. But my vision would not stop at our borders. Of course, I believe Nepal should act as a bridge between our two giant neighbors, India and China. Rather than choosing one over another, I would value both relationships equally by working with them in coordinated manner. By maintaining a balanced and respectful relationship with both countries, Nepal would not only grow stronger but also help build trust and cooperation across the regions. Furthermore, I would focus on reshaping SARC, which has too often been limited to meetings and speeches without enough results. I would use my role as a Prime Minister to turn SARC into a platform for real action. A regional education program to share resources among our nations, a joint health initiative to fight diseases together, a South Asian peace forum to resolve disputes through dialogue, not conflict. Through all these efforts, Nepal could become a voice of stability, a nation that promotes peace and brings its neighbor closer. Not further apart. A united South Asia can reduce poverty, improve lives of people, and create a future where every nation walk forward with dignity. In conclusion, as a student, a dreamer, and hopefully a future leader, I see a South Asia where all countries support one another, not as a competitors but as a partners. I truly believe that with wise leadership, balanced diplomacy, and active youth participation, we can shape a new, united, and empowered South Asia. Thank you. So I think that we are having some technical difficulties with the second video. Prasansa, would you like to, because you've seen both of the videos, would you like to tell us a little bit more about them?
Yes, Mohitaji. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. As you've seen Vijeta's video, and I've also seen Arya's video, both Arya and Vijeta have made inspiring presentation expressing their hopes and concerns for Nepal and South Asia. They highlight key issues like high school dropout rates, poor rural healthcare, unemployment, and the large number of youth Nepalese migrating abroad for better opportunities. The migration specifically signals a lack of local opportunities and causes Nepal to lose valuable young talent. Both of them also propose strong solutions focused on education, healthcare, and regional cooperation. Arya's South Asian Knowledge Corridor and Vijeta's vision of Nepal as a bridge between India and China offers innovative way to build trust and collaboration. They also emphasize turning regional group like SHARP into spaces for real action. While their visions are hopeful, their presentation could have been stronger by addressing political and social barriers and offering clearer practical steps. Nevertheless, they remind us that youth have the creativity to drive change, but making dreams real, we need clear strategies and broader support from across South Asia. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prashanta. And I think that we are good to go with Arya's video because we would want to see the second video from Nepal. Are we? Yes, here it is.
Hello everyone, I am Arya, here to share a tale of a region vibrant and rare, from mountains high to
Because I think Arya also shared with us a beautiful poetry. So I think it was that video. There's another video that's going to be played.
Namaste. My name is Arya Gautam. I am 17 years old and I am speaking to you from Kathmandu, Nepal. If I was the Prime Minister of this country, I wouldn't just govern the country, but I would carry the responsibility of a region. My vision as the Prime Minister would begin with an unshakable conviction that peace in South Asia must not remain a privilege, it must become a birthright. We are blessed with an inheritance richer than gold, civilizations that existed before borders, voices that echo through the mountains and the oceans, and faiths that taught us how to live and then how to live together. But to envision the future, we must first confront the present, honestly and unflinchingly. In my country, Nepal, nearly 1 in 5 people still live below the poverty line. In remote districts, that number climbs even higher. This, in a land of forests, rivers and mountains, is not scarcity, it is systemic neglect. Our children walk for hours to reach schools. Some carry hope in their eyes with no books in their hands, and even when they arrive, classrooms lack desks. Teachers are underpaid, and digital learning still a distant dream in far too many villages. Many Nepali students drop out before completing secondary education, not because they lack potential, but because they are forced to choose survival over school. And what do the youths do? They leave. Every year, more than half of the Nepalese youth population apply for foreign employment and education. Some return in debt, many return in coffins, and some never return at all. We say we are proud of them, but pride should not be the price of separation. We mirror the same problem across South Asia, but yet we build borders instead of bridges. We spend more in wars than we spend in women. We spend more in defending borders than we spend in defending human rights. We chant the slogans of peace, but our system demands division. This is not just a regional crisis, it is a shared heartbreak. And when pain is talked about with honesty, it is the first step towards transformation. And I have listened to that pain. As the Prime Minister of Nepal, I wouldn't govern with fear. Instead, I would govern with faith. Faith in education, faith in equality, faith in regional solidarity. Let us begin with the South Asian Knowledge Corridor, where a girl from Herat can study in Hyderabad, where a boy from Jaffna can teach in Java, where no passport has the ability to gauge the brilliance of the human mind. Let us replace competition with cooperation, because when we build together, we can rise above history and we can become unstoppable. Even as a Prime Minister, I know this. Peace is not a gift that any government can grant, and unity is not a slogan that any summit can declare. And my role is not to stand over, it is to stand amongst the people so that peace can be possible and unity is attained easier. Because at the end of it all, we are not defined by the facts that we did, but by the future that we dare to dream together. We have divided land, we have divided language, and we have even tried to divide the divine. But it's time we remember what cannot and must not be divided, because as the song goes, Mande Mashib ke jaghani baat liya Bhagwan ko, धरती बाटी सागर बाटा मत बाटो इंसान को, मत बाटो इंसान को. जय नेपाल, जय Southasia.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I think that Arya's video really, puts further clarity on what, Episansa was saying. Now, although we do not have our panelists from Maldives, we would love to see videos from Maldives as well. And we would love to see what they have to say. So we're now going to be playing the set of videos that we've received from Maldives.
Honorable heads of state, distinguished delegates, respected colleagues, and my fellow citizens of South Asia, Assalamu alaikum and a very good day to you all. It is a profound honor to address this esteemed gathering today. As the President of the Maldives, I come before you not just as a leader of a small island nation, but as a voice for a region of extraordinary potential, shared struggles, and a common destiny. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "The future depends on what we do today." And today, in this hall, I wish to share my vision for a South Asia that rises together, a South Asia where our diversity becomes our strength, our challenges become opportunities, and our future is one of peace, prosperity, and resilience. South Asia is a region of rich history and breathtaking beauty. Our mountains touch the sky, our rivers feed millions, and our oceans whisper the stories of our shared past. Yet, alongside this splendor, we face daunting realities: poverty, inequality, political tension, and the existential threat of climate change. And for the Maldives, these are not just distant concerns, these are our daily realities. Rising seas threaten our islands, our economy dependent on tourism. We are vulnerable to global shocks, and our youth seek opportunities abroad as employment challenges persist at home. Yet, as the Maldivian saying goes, even the smallest boat can sail through the strongest of waves. With courage, with vision, and with unity, South Asia can sail through these waves and thrive. My first vision is a South Asia where peace and cooperation replace conflict and distrust. Too often, our region has been defined by political disputes, border tensions, and internal instabilities. These challenges do not just divide nations, they rob our people of their opportunities and of their hope. And as the President of the Maldives, I pledge my nation to be a voice for dialogue and diplomacy. We must revitalize regional platforms, not as ceremonial gatherings, but as engines of meaningful cooperation. And as John F. Kennedy's words remind us, let us never negotiate out of fear, but let us never fear to negotiate. A peaceful and politically stable South Asia is a foundation upon which we all can build progress. Second, I envision a South Asia that leads the global fight against climate change. The Maldives is in the front line of the climate crisis. Rising seas threaten our very survival. Extreme weather events grow more frequent. Our people live in constant uncertainty of their future and of their homes. But we refuse to surrender to fear. Hope is our compass. Together we can invest in renewable energy,
Together, we can protect our forests and our oceans. Together, we can show the world how a vulnerable region can become a leader in sustainability. And as the poet Rumi reminds us, try to accept the changing seasons of your soul, even the winters. Yes, we are in the winters of environmental crisis, but if we unite, a spring of resilience and innovation will surely follow. Third, my vision is of a South Asia that invests in its greatest resource, its people. Our youth are talented, creative, and determined, yet too many lack the opportunities to shine. Our women are the backbone of our societies, yet in too many places they still face barriers to equal participation. And as Malala Yousafzai reminds us, we cannot all succeed when half of us are held back. We must provide quality education for every child. We must equip our youth with skills for a modern economy. We must empower our women to lead in a government, business, and in society. When our people rise, so does our nation. We must keep that in mind. Fourth, I envision a South Asia that is deeply connected economically, technologically, and culturally. Imagine a region where a Maldivian entrepreneur collaborates with a tech innovator in Bangalore, or when a farmer in Nepal sells his produce effortlessly in Colombo, or when a student from Dhaka studies in Male without any barriers, and tourists explore our country seamlessly, celebrating our shared heritages. By breaking down these barriers to trade, travel, and technology, we create a South Asia of opportunity, not limitation. Finally, I dream of a South Asia built on compassion and solidarity. When one nation faces floods, earthquakes, or crisis, the others must extend their hand, not out of obligation, but out of family. Rabindranath Tagore once wrote, "Reach high, for stars lie hidden in your soul. Dream deep, for every dream precedes the goal. Let us dream deep and act out boldly." My fellow leaders and citizens of South Asia, I dream of a region where peace is our language, where sustainability is our way, and where unity is our strength. The Maldives is small, but our commitment is great. We will champion democracy. We will champion environmental leadership and regional cooperation. Let us rise above divisions and act now, because the future of South Asia depends on what we do today. Together, we can build a South Asia our children will inherit with pride, not with fear. May peace, progress, and prosperity guide our shared journey. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Mehta, and today I am going to tell you if I am a president or prime minister of my country, what I do for the future vision of South Asia. My vision for the South Asia would be to create a region that is united, prosperous, and peaceful. Here a glimpse of what I would strive to achieve. So, number one, regional cooperation. Strengthen SAARC, revitalize the South Asia Association for Regional Cooperation to promote economic integrations, cultural exchange, and cooperation on issues like climate change, terrorism, and poverty reductions, and foster people to people connections, encourage people to people diplomacy through cultural exchanges and tourism and educational programs to build a bridge between nations. Number third, economic development. Promote regional trades, work towards creating a South Asia free trade area, reducing tariffs, and simplifying trade procedures to boost economic growth and job creations. And invest in infrastructure, develop regional infrastructure such as transportations, network, energy grids, and telecommunications to facilitate the movement of goods, services, and people. Number four, social programs, education and skill development. Invest in education and vocational training programs to equip the youth with skills needed to compete in the global economy, and healthcare and social welfare, improve healthcare system, social safety, and disaster management to ensure well-being of citizens. Number fifth, peace and security. Conflict resolutions, foster dialogue and diplomacy to resolve long-standing uh, conflicts and disputes between nations, and collaborate on counter-terrorism efforts to ensure regional security and stability. Then number sixth, environmental sustainability, climate change mitigation, work together to address climate change through joint initiative and renewable energy, sustainable and agriculture and economy, eco-friendly practices, and conservation natural sources management, protect and preserve the region's rich biodiversity, natural resources, and ecosystem. Number 7, youth empowerment. Youth leadership programs establish programs to empower young leaders, entrepreneurs, and innovations to drive positive change in their communities. Then youth exchange programs facilitate cultural exchange programs, internships, and volunteer opportunities, foster cross-cultural understanding, collaborations. So by working together, I believe we can create a brighter future for Southasia, and where our citizens can live in peace, prosperity, and dignity. Thank you.
Amazing. I think that some very important messages were highlighted in these two videos from Maldives, the vision of peace and prosperity across South Asia, promoting regional cooperation and simplifying regional trade, shared solutions for regional climate crises, investing in the futures of our youth and women, the vision of a deeply connected South Asia with people to people connections. I think all of these messages are really, really important. And I think that they resonate deeply with all of us. It was wonderful having those videos from Maldives. Our next set of videos are from Pakistan. And after the videos are displayed, I will be sharing my thoughts on the videos. Thank you.
Hi, I am Nisbacha from Pakistan. If I were the Prime Minister of my country, my vision for South Asia would begin with one word, climate. Because without climate action, there is no future, not for Pakistan, not for India, not for Sri Lanka, not for any of us. South Asia is suffering floods, heat waves, polluted airs. We have all seen it. In my country, I have seen people lost homes due to floods. I have felt the heat waves. I have felt and seen how climate change is affecting our farmers, students, and poor communities. But I believe problems bring us together and solution can too. If I were the leader, I would make climate action a priority, not a project. Here my vision for South Asia. Climate education for all. Teach every children in South Asia about climate change for early school years. Youth Climate Army. I share team of youth people from all countries working on plantation, water conservation and awareness. Clean energy together. Instead of fighting over oil or resources, let's share solar, hydro and wind energy. Eco-cities. I would help build cities that use green transport, clean air systems and protect river and trees. Peace, thought and plants. We share more unity. I would invite leaders from across South Asia to meet only for climate planning, no politics, just plans. I'm not just imagining change, I have to start small steps. I've seen how in climate change workshops, exhibition and youth dialogues, I share knowledge through my designs and social media. I believe change starts with learning, and I have been learning.
Just imagine South Asia where every young person gets a chance and to make their dream real. If I were the Prime Minister, my first question would be how can I create better future for every young person in my country? We, the youth, are full of ideas and energy. I believe we have power to build a future of peace, learning, opportunities for all. My name is Kalimullah. Today I want to share my vision, what I would do if I could lead South Asia. My dream is simple, helping young people learn and grow, bring unity and peace, and make life better with smart and sustainable ideas. Let me explain how I see this future. My first goal would be to make sure no young persons left behind. Education and skills change lives. I would work to give every child and youth free learning programs, scholarships, and training opportunities. I believe when the youth grow stronger, the whole nation becomes strong. South Asia is full of talent, creativity, and culture, but we often see divisions. I would bring young people from Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, and Maldives together to work on shared challenges like climate change, poverty, and health. When we work together, we can achieve amazing things. As an agricultural student, I know farming is backbone of our future. I would support farmers with modern tools, organic farming, and new methods to grow more food. This would not only solve food problem, but also create thousands of jobs for young people. We all know climate change is a big threat. If I were in a power, I would lead tree plantation drives, solar energy projects, and campaigns to save water and nature. My vision as a leader is clear: support youth people, unite South Asia, and create a future full of hope. The future is in our hands. Let's work together to make it bright.
Great. So these powerful videos from Pakistan reveal urgent truths. Nisbat Shah focuses on the climate crisis that has become explosive. Kalimullah Jatoi highlights how our youth stand on the front lines of economic collapse and calls for joint economic solutions. I myself see dialogue dying in South Asia. And silence between nations isn't peace, it's the calm before the storm. I believe that we must slash tariffs to fight poverty because hunger knows no borders. We must open humanitarian corridors, especially in times of crises, because politics must never weaponize food or medicine. South Asia's potential is boundless, yet we remain chained by division. Imagine a generation trading scholarships, not suspicion, building solar grids, not barracks. Poverty, economic crisis, climate disasters, these aren't just Pakistani problems. These are problems for us all. The real crisis, we build walls when it's bridges that would make us unstoppable. Let these videos be our manifesto. Peace isn't poetry, it's policy. Thank you, everyone. And with that, we move on to our last set of videos that are from Sri Lanka.
My name is Lojina Vendan and I have a dream to become a woman leader in Sri Lanka and one day to serve as the Prime Minister of our country. This is not just my dream. It's the hope of many people, especially those who have suffered because of the long and painful war in Sri Lanka. I was born and raised in Maldives in the northern province. I grew up during the war. As a child, I saw violence, destructions, and fear. I know pain of the war. I know what it means to lose your home, your loved ones, and your future. But I also know we can build peace. Peace is not just the end of fighting with guns. True peace means respect for all people. It means everyone can live with freedom and dignity without fear. In Sri Lanka, many Tamils had to hide their identity. We could not speak our language freely or follow our culture with pride. This is not peace. Under my leadership, I want to make sure no one in Sri Lanka feel afraid because of their language, religion, ethnicity, or gender. Everyone must feel safe and equal. And this message is not only for Sri Lanka, it's for all of South Asia. We are a region full of different cultures, language, and religions. This is our strength. We must learn to live together in peace. We must follow the path of great leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, who believed in non-violence and truth. Today, many people in South Asia are still poor, hungry, and without education. But the government continues to spend money on weapons and conflict. This must stop. Instead of building weapons, we must build schools and hospitals. Instead of making war, we must make peace. We must stop violence against women and children. We must give all people, especially women and girls, the chance to live a good life. As a woman from the war-affected area, I know how hard the road is, but I also know how strong we are. I want to dedicate my life to building peace in Sri Lanka and in the whole South Asian region. I want to be a voice for the people who are not heard. I want to be a leader who brings hope, not fear. Together, we can build a better future, one where everyone is free, equal, and safe. Let us walk in this path together for peace, for justice, and for the next generation. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, I'm Fatima Aliska. I'm going to talk about the biggest dream of mine. As a Sri Lankan, our country facing many problems. And what would I do if I were the president of Sri Lanka? If I were the president of Sri Lanka, not by power, but by the will of the people, my mission would not only be to rebuild the nation, but to reimagine its place in Asia and the world. I come not with a throne in mind, but with a table, a place where all people can sit equally and no voice is too small and no community is left unheard. This dream begins not with weapons or wars, but with hope, human dignity and unity. In this vision, countries would invest in each other with transparency. If peace is at risk anywhere, the Asian Forum could step in peacefully and diplomatically. We would protect every individual's freedom, no matter where they are from or what they believe. Trade, technology and compassion would flow together, crossing all borders. Back home in Sri Lanka, I would lead the way with real reform. Outdated laws like the PTA and OSA would be removed, replaced with one of the respect your rights. Every system, IDs, land deeds, welfare would be simplified and digitalized to serve people better and faster, always protecting privacy and dignity. No Sri Lankan would be treated as second class. I would ensure equal rights and fair resources for all. No matter your ethnicity, religion, gender or where you live, youth, plantation workers, women, rural communities and minorities would not be left out. They would be invited in. We would also introduce a recall system, so if leaders fail, the people can democratically replace them. Education would prepare our youth not just for job, but for leadership in a peaceful Asia. Students would take part in regional learning programs, share ideas, and build friendship across cultures. And from an early age, we would teach value like kindness, respect, and civil responsibility. So, development begins from within. Finally, I would stand firmly for freedom of religion and belief. No one should be excluded or attacked for their faith. A national council with religious leaders would help ensure that our policies unite, not divide us. And then I would wake up. Because it's a dream. I'm not in the president office. I'm in my workplace. Maybe one day this dream won't just be mine. It will be yours. Because Sri Lanka doesn't need another ruler. It needs a movement. A movement for peace, dignity, and a new Asia built by the people. Thank you for listening.
Amazing. I think that it is not just the videos that have been shared that share that a dream. I think it is a dream that is shared by us all. And now I would invite Darshika for her comments on the videos.
Thank you, Mohiba. Hello, everyone. I'm Darshika from Sri Lanka, representing minority community in Sri Lanka. Thank you, both of you, for the wonderful videos representing Sri Lanka's situation. And it was great to know that your vision is very clear in youth empowerment, unity, peace, justice, and gender equality, also including all the community and all. And also still there are lacking few points to add on from Sri Lanka's view. Like the main one is I would suggest to young people's representation in politics that is still lacking in Sri Lanka, because if more youth come around politics, it will be a greater change, greater key to make a change, not only in Sri Lanka, across the South Asia. And also more like economic stability and the youth policy implementation, it also had to be concerned. And also another point is about the digital access gap and the rural urban connection between the youths. And also one last point is about like youth have to more concern on the migration nowadays, because skillful youths are getting migrated to Southeast countries or European countries rather than being in our own countries and working on behalf of our people. So this is what I wanted to add. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Darshika. And with that, I would like to thank all of the panelists for their comments on the videos that were shared from their respective countries. It was lovely to see that not only did you highlight the points that were made in the videos, but also shared your own perspectives of what you think is going on in your own countries. We will now move on to the next part of our program, which is opening remarks by all of you, which are going to be limited to 90 seconds each, on the vision of South Asia that has emerged and the way forward based on all of the 16 videos that you have seen from the 8 countries of South Asia. I would go again in alphabetical order, and I would like to first invite Selab Nisari from Afghanistan to share his views.
Thank you, Mohiba. Should I on my screen? Yeah. About the issue and the vision of united, inclusive, and sustainable South Asia. So, the 16 powerful videos I have watched, the collective voice of youth from across the South Asia has reflected that we have illuminated a future shaped by the peace, unity, and cross-borders cooperation. Imagining ourselves that as a leader, we envision a region where boundaries no longer divide us, but where shared values, cultures, and aspirations create a fabric, interconnectedness. So, as a heart of this vision, the lies commitment, the peace, not merely absence, the conflict, but active cultivations of dialogues, trust, and reconciliations. So we recognize that achieving lasting peace requires addressing underlying social issues such as discrimination and inequality, including gender-based disparities that hinder full participation and empowerment. So the education, the climate change, the economically inventions, mental health. These are the points that I want to talk. So you know that education emerges a critical pillar of our future beyond academic achievement, holistic education that nature's mental health. So also the critical thinking, empathy is essential. Climate change presents as urgent challenge in transcend borders. So our shared environment demands joint action from the regional climate policies and sustainable resources management to collaborate efforts in reducing emission and adapting the ecological shift. So protecting our planet is not optional, but a responsibility we owe to current, future, and future generations. So ultimately, our the future of our South Asia depends on our ability to transcend boundaries, geographical, social, and political, and also build bridges of cooperation and mental health respect. As embarrassing leaders, we carry the responsibility and promises to shape the region that is peaceful, just, resilient, and flourishing for generations to come. So at the end, I want to say that the power of transition South Asia lays in our hands, and the time of the act is now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Salab. Thank you so much for sharing your views. And I would request all the panelists to limit your speech to 90 seconds. Thank you so much. And next we have from Bangladesh, Bipasha Said. Bipasha, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mohiba. So these are all beautiful videos, all 16 videos, and I am very positive about it that they are all visioning for a borderless South Asia. One thing I find very interesting that 16 of this video, they all say they have fear of war, they have terrible, they don't want any terrible things, they don't want terrorism, they don't want segregation. So everyone, and I think all the 60% youth of South Asia, they think same uh, as like these 16 people. So why I'm feeling positive? Yes, there are a lot of things they didn't mention, but there are so many things that they mentioned, that like education, like healthcare, like climate change, things that how we can do a regional collaboration, how we can make it together and everything. So that's where I feel very positive actually. And the thing that they mentioned very specifically, that we are giving our budget to the borders, where we should give our budget to human rights. We should be defending our human rights. We should be defending our humanity. One girl sang a song like "Dharti bato, sagar bato, mat bato, insan." Like, don't divide people. So that notion of togetherness, that unity, that actually I believe that the ultimate vision of this thing. And the 60% of the youth, not 60%, I think the whole South Asia, except few people, the whole South Asia want a borderless thing. So I think this thing emerged very, very burning question we are asking, that why we are separated. Let's come together and make South Asia great again.
Thank you, Bipasha. Really important interventions. Now we'll move on to, because we're already done with Bhutan because Dima had to leave early. So now we'll move on to India. Kabir, please go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. I think Bipasha mentioned all 16 videos, but I'd add to that all of the nearly 200 videos that we got really expressed a consensus towards peaceful coexistence, which I think is at the heart of what we're discussing. But I think when I think of South Asian cooperation, what comes to mind is a quote from former Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru concluding the Bandung Conference held in 1955. And it goes like this: there is no friendship when nations are not equal, when one has to obey the other, and when one dominates the other. That is why we raise our voices against domination and colonialism, from which many of us have suffered for so long. And that is why we have to be very careful to see that any other form of domination does not come our way. Between Bandung and Zoom, there are natural gaps, but between our principles, I find little space. I'm immensely glad to have had a look into the imaginations of various people around my age and find it very promising to hear their articulated visions of economic integration, coexistence politically, socially, and ecologically, cultural exchange, as has always been natural to humans, and deliberate hope instead of ignorance or cynicism. I think what they function to do is to raise many, many questions and provide us with the food for development and thought that is utterly, utterly necessary in our times. And as with all ambitious and necessary efforts, I hope such endeavors continue, that we recognize the organic links between bold visions and historical realities, between abstract concepts like democracy and daily practice, and that our motto remains organize, organize, organize. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Kabir. I think that was very enlightening. Now we move on to our next panelist from Nepal. Prasansa, what do you have to say about all of the videos?
Thank you. All of these 16 videos, they're very inspiring. The youths from every country have spoken with remarkable clarity about their visions for a better future. Despite coming from a diverse background, their speeches reveal common concerns such as poverty, limited access to education, healthcare, climate change, gender inequality, the migration of young, talented people abroad. And what stands out is their creativity of their solutions. Many propose transforming education through digital classrooms, skills lab, and cross-border student exchange. Healthcare visions include telemedicine, border health clinic, and regional disease control programs. And several call for clean energy cooperation, climate education, and then youth-led environmental actions. So economic ideas also, they range from fairly hourly wage to a South Asian free trade zone, promoting women-led enterprises and turning the region into a hub for green industries. These are all, they're not stopping at national borders. They envision South Asia as one community, a South Asian knowledge corridor, a youth climate party, a South Asian women innovator network, and ideas that would turn cooperation into the beating heart of our region's progress. So, and in their words, one truth rings clear, that is, the youth, they're not just tomorrow's leaders, they are today's change makers. So if we give them the trust, tool, and space to lead, they can turn these dreams into a South Asia that is united and peaceful and thriving. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prasansa. I absolutely agree. I think that the videos did put forward some really, really creative and innovative solutions to bringing all of South Asia together and envisioning hope. So next on the list is Pakistan. But before I begin with my comments, I would like to introduce Karamat Ali Sahab, who is our Dayan of peace from Pakistan. Karamat Ali, a veteran trade unionist and executive director of Parlor, is a key figure in promoting regional cooperation in South Asia. A founding leader of People's SARC movement, he has worked for decades to bridge divides between South Asia through civil society dialogue. He co founded the Pakistan India People's Forum for Peace and Democracy and the Pakistan Peace Coalition, advocating people to people diplomacy beyond political tensions. Recognized with Didi Nirmala Peace Award 2013 and ACHA Award 2008, his efforts emphasize labor rights, peace, and grassroots activism. He remains active in regional forums, fostering solidarity across borders. So it's really wonderful to have with us Karamat Ali Saab in spirit. I will now move on to the comments that I have, having viewed all of the videos together. Look at South Asia today, a region of shared blood, shared history, yet divided by barbed wires of mistrust. But these videos that we've just seen, they're not just clips, they are rebellion. Rebellion against the idea that we must remain prisoners of our past. South Asia is not just a map, it's a body. When one part suffers, we all feel the pain. When one thrives, we all grow stronger. Our fates are tied by history, blood, and the very air we breathe. From Pakistan's plea for climate cooperation to Bangladesh's call for shared economic solutions, from India's vision of joint tech incubators to Nepal and Sri Lanka's proposals for youth programs, one truth screams at us: our survival is interlinked. Division is a luxury we can no longer afford. Will we really let borders drawn by colonizers, weaponized by politicians, decide whether our children eat or starve, whether our rivers flow or poison? These videos reject that fatalism. They demand trade without treason, dialogue without suspicion, and peace, not just as a dream, but as a policy. The question isn't whether peace is possible, it is. The question is, do we have the courage to choose it? The question isn't, can we unite? It's, will we? Before the next crisis forces us to. Let these videos be our compass. The time for us versus them is over. Now is the time for we. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's move on next to Sri Lanka. And Darshika, if you would also like to share your thoughts on all of the videos that you've seen.
Yeah, thank you, Mahiba. So we were watching 16 videos. I mean, the 16 representation of their own country across South Asia. So I see that as a real representation of the challenges, conflicts, the situation, the issues they are going through in their own country. I mean, from the grassroots, from the national level, and how are they facing it? How are they coming through and all. So it was some powerful messages as well as the powerful dreams of youngsters that are going to be functioning in future. So I wish all the best for them. And also they were talking about the unity, peace building, and unity among the South Asian countries and the connectivity. How can we progress it and everything? So I appreciate that. And as well as I have to add on something that digital connectivity it's a big key to keep connecting across the South Asian youths or people or any kind of things. So we can access the digital connectivity to keep on going. And also we have to talk about climate resilience as well. It was lacking in those videos, what I saw. And also Unity among South Asian countries is important. Likewise, unity among the grassroots people and the diverse community is also important to fight forward and to be strong together. And then the youth inclusion, as I said already, youth inclusion in policy making and in political representation is also a key. So finally, I would like to say, like South Asia's strength is lies in diversity. So our challenge is to turn that diversity into opportunity and shared progress. That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Darshika. And I think it was wonderful to listen to everyone and their thoughts on what they thought about all of these wonderful videos that we got from all over South Asia. Now we will be moving to the next part of our program, which is going to be a panel discussion focusing on some of the important questions that and the issues that were highlighted across all of the videos. So before we do that, I would request Prasansa to kindly introduce Tapan Bosji, who is our Dayan of Priests from Nepal.
Thank you, Mohibaji. Tapan Bose strode the South Asian stage as a colossus, a human right and peace advocate, institution builder, mentor, filmmaker, and writer. Tapan was inspirational not only for his belief in the vision of people of South Asia transcending state borders that divide, but also in realizing that imagination of people to people contacts, resolving common problems through the co founding of Pakistan India Forum for Peace and Democracy, and revitalizing of South Asia Forum for Human Rights. Suffer in Kathmandu became the hub for countrywide networks, pioneering researches, dialogues, advocacy in striving for peace with justice, and referencing vulnerable communities, minorities, and refugees and women. Although he is no longer here with us, his legacy continues to inspire and guide the work for a united and just South Asia.
Thank you so much, Prasansa,
Thank
for that
you.
introduction. I think it's wonderful to have heard about the inspirational stories of all of the three Dayans of Peace. We will now move on to our panel discussion, which we will limit to no more than 9 to 10 minutes. So, of course, we can't go very deeply into these issues and we'll barely be able to scratch the surface. But I wanted to ask this question from all of you. The videos we just saw, they reject division. They imagine a South Asia where trade, dialogue, and trust are non negotiable. But these are all aspirations, as was said in the videos as well. These are dreams. How do we shift these aspirations to action? What do you think about this? And please feel free to go ahead, whoever wants to comment.
If I may, Mohiba.
Sure.
Okay. I think the way I think we could do this, we just have to take a look at history and how movements have come about. And the principle is extremely simple. You meet other people, you try and organize yourselves, and you try and formulate a coherent program, and you try and work towards those goals together. It's extremely clear in human history that no individual has ever been able to do anything beyond a certain extent. So we have to get together, we have to formulate clear goals, and we have to continuously engage in internal criticism so that we can develop our programs much better.
Yes, absolutely. That's very right. We have to set those goals. We have to have that clarity. Basansa, what do you have to say?
Um, Yes, Mohit, when we talk about great hopes and vision for South Asia's future, the challenge I think is always on how to turn those ideas into reality, into everyday cooperation. And I truly believe that the most effective way we can empower youth and turn all the aspirations into reality in South Asia is by working together. So what can we do collaboratively? What I think is we can create a platform like South Asia Forum, a platform where we can have that regular space where young leaders from every country across South Asia can come together to exchange ideas, discuss challenges, and also design shared solutions. This forum, I think, would be a place for learning, place for innovation and unity, and also a corridor or a place that promotes education and innovation and not just limits itself to some annual events or just limit themselves to some events. So I think platform would like these would be really, really helpful for turning the innovations into reality.
That's very, very true. I think that the focus on youth is very, very important. Do we have other panelists who would want to comment on this? Yes, Bipasha, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. See, all these my fellow panelists already say many ways for aspiration to action, but I want to ask some basic questions. So we see the problem is we are making borders and we are dividing and we are ruling. So if we see our history, our colonizer, they made this thing divide and rule, and after we are liberated from those colonializer, we are still doing the same. So what is actually giving us this barrier? It is in our mind, it is in our nation's deep rooted thing that in the name of politics, in the name of religion, we are segregating and segregating and segregating. These young people, they are asking the question that why we are separated. So something in their mind they are questioning, and this is the thing, this is the education we are talking that we need to change. We have to ask the question why we are separated, where is the problem. Is this all the country's policy, is this all the nation's security and everything, is it really? So we have to ask this question. These young people, this 60% young people, education is must, not only the STEM education, technology. Yes, these things are important, but you have to be mindly broad open. Need to know what is the political perspective behind this thing. Are we colonialized by this North nation? They are imposing this thing and we are just divided. We have to rethink this thing. We have to ask this question. We need to think how to make this thing happen. Like my fellow panelists already say, these platforms are good. We have to ask this question that how we can manage all these people together. Like these South Asian people, they say we need South Asian cooperation. How we can do that cooperation? We can cooperation through this platform, but this platform, this is the beginning. But we have to think beyond this thing in national level, in more than South Asian level. So another thing I think we have to rethink that are we able to speak properly? Like we are in our South Asian space, we are saying there is democracy. Actually, are we having democracy? Is this the true democracy we are having? We need to remap this democracy, renegotiate with this democracy. We need to speak. That speak the voice of people, the voice of these young people, not only young people, every South Asian people that should be heard by the higher level official, the politicians, and everybody. We are the nation. We are South Asia. We are asking to be together. So what is holding us back? So I think it should be come from uh, very unit form of position, like from family to upper position, like from the state level. So otherwise, we cannot make our South Asia together. That's my point of view.
Thank you, Bipasha. I think that was really great that you grounded us in history, that we need to revisit our history, need to understand that, need to go to the basics. And so that's very, very important. Selab or Dharshika, do you have anything to add to this? How do we change our aspirations to a reality? Yes, Dharshika, you can go first, and then Selab, I will come to you.
Okay. Yeah. So I am greatly agreed with my fellow panelists that about shared goals and the strong unity and educating ourselves and well. So for these things, as I already said, we have to start it from the scratch rather than focusing in national level or international level or South Asian level. We have to start it from the scratch, from the grassroots level. We have to find the issues and real struggles from the grassroots level, and we have to get more solution for that to be a better place to start anything. So it in that way we can access for the greater international mechanisms like UN, ICCPR, ICHR, such things. Mainly the youth who are working with civil society organizations or non-governmental organization, they can clearly access those mechanisms to get a betterment for our community or for our country's betterment. So it is another thought from myself. And also, I greatly love to focus on educating the youths, like from the marginalized communities. They don't have greater access to the education or for an open mind, like that things. So the youths who are well educated, who are focused to have such betterments, we have to educate those youths or those children from the marginalized community about the broader area of world of South Asia, how we can access for those UN mechanisms or EU mechanisms, how
Hey,
can
Darshika,
we fight for our rights, how can
cut you off.
we.
Sorry. Sorry, I'm extremely
Yes.
sorry to cut you off.
Okay, yeah.
We are just like a little bit low on time, so I just wanted to hear quickly from Selab, and then we can move to the conclusion of our program. Very sorry to cut you off. I hope that we can continue
Yeah.
this discussion, and this is not the only way that we're going to be connected. So, Selab, if you could share your brief comment, please, and then we can move on. Thank you, Darshika.
Yeah, thank you. And as all of the panelists said their thoughts uh, about the question that how to shift our the aspiration to action, I think the keys to shift from the aspirations to action is building practical, shared commitments somehow across the borders. First, we must turn dialogues into the joint projects, whether in trade, climate actions, or education. So cooperation become a habit, not an expectation. So, trust grows when people meet and work together. So we need more youth exchanges. So across borders, business partnership and culture programs. Uh, Also, we must hold our somehow governments accountable for the policies, remove barriers to movement rates and communications. In short, so we can tell you that small and act together and keep momentum because every successful collaboration make the vision of United South Asia more and more real. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Salah. Thank you so much for your remarks. And I think that it was a good discussion. Of course, like we barely just started it. We would want to have longer discussions and we would want to go on and actually discuss even more issues and solutions to those issues that have been raised in the videos and in the conversation that we've had throughout this program. But alas, we do not have enough time for the program today. So I am going to be moving forward with a very important introduction. There has been a very important guest with us throughout the program, and she has been listening to us, and she is, hearing everything very intently. So I'm going to introduce to all of you Lalita Ramdas ji. Lalita Ramdas has been the chairperson of Greenpeace International and Greenpeace India. Her commitment and passions range across all issues critical to society, especially peace, a nuclear free South Asia, India Pakistan relations, education, environment, and women's empowerment. She is the partner of Admiral Ramdas Saab, former chief of Indian Navy and one of the Dians we are celebrating today. We now request her for a message to youth of South Asia about their vision. Sorry, Lalita ji, your mic is muted.
Yeah, beg your pardon. See, this is what comes of being the oldest in years and the youngest, maybe, in my thinking, but I forget to do things like switching on the right buttons. Anyway, what can I say? This has been, I just feel that I need to rejoice at 85 that the youth across South Asia are claiming their right to be at the table and to step up. This is potentially a powerhouse, a tsunami, but as with any tsunami, we need to be prepared. We need to understand that it's a long road and it's going to be tough. I've scrapped the note that I had prepared because between you, you have summed up beautifully what main solutions, problems, and so on that have come through, not just these 16, but the 200 video submissions that they have received over these last several weeks. And I think for me, the important point that is being made is that we, yes, need to revise, revitalize, and energize SARC. Yes, we don't want war, we want no to hate, we want love, we want peace. But there is vested interests at every level. Please let's be very realistic and clear. As much as this has been energizing, it's sort of raised all the most wonderful emotional sentiments within us. But if we are seriously planning to make this something that we want to take forward, take seriously, it should not remain, as each one has said, at the level of something like this. I think it's up to us to meet very quickly and plan what should be the next steps that we need to take, which will seriously address, our intentions and our hopes and our dreams. The list you've made out is breathtaking and comprehensive. I think those Doyens up there who we are celebrating, wherever peacemakers, peacemongers, change makers meet, must be happy. I think we also need to hear and take to decision makers. We want a pledge from them that we need more platforms and avenues for active participation of youth in framing the programs and the policies from the local to the national to regional and global. Is this possible? A young woman from Afghanistan in the first video that I saw says, yes, we can. And she throws out a challenge and she points her finger and says, can you? That is the question that we need to be prepared for. I believe it is possible. And as we proudly release this wonderful vision document from South Asian youth, I say that it is time to pass the baton. I understand it's very interesting, isn't it? We've all complained about colonization, and yet we are conversing and communicating and dialoguing in the language of the colonizer. And I think that is something, again, the word baton, I guess, has come from the French. So, I mean, for me, it is enriching. We need to fight the forces which tell us stick to one homogeneous language, culture, religion, and so on. That is our real enemy. I believe it's time for us to pass on the baton. I'm symbolically trying to do that with this vision document. I'm passing on, and this is a plea to everybody. Please join me and make sure that we pass on the batons to the young people who are waiting, and that wait should not be there 10, 20 years later, it should be now. That is what our demand and plea ought to be. But thank you very much. This has been absolutely exhilarating, exciting. It's been wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. I think it was a really remarkable program, a really important discussion that we all had. We are now not just imagining a harmonious South Asia, but we are on the way of blueprinting it, like Lalita ji said. I hope to stay in conversation with all of you, and thank you so much for joining today.